Hailey and I are in Salt Lake City, Utah. We are at a corporate speed dating event. Is that fair?
Yes, I would say about so.
So, Hailey, what are we doing here?
So today we're here representing our company, presenting ourselves to a bunch of the key players that are part of our industry.
Absolutely. So, basically, we're meeting with over 10 different companies, some of them that we work with already, some who we'd like to do more business with, and really just discussing where we fit in their process and how we can help them solve their problems. So, Hailey, we sat in a couple presentations this morning and then we got into like the speed dating round of it all. But what were some of your key takeaways from the discussions that we heard?
Well, it's cool just seeing everything from the bigger picture, on a day to day. It's harder to see how we can fit into the workflow and how we can be a big part to the success of these bigger companies. So it's just cool to hear them talk about our value and what we can bring to the table.
How long have you been on our team?
So I have been with this team since the beginning of this year in March.
So, March was only 8 or 9 months ago. You've actually represented the company out in Chicago and now you're here in Salt Lake City. How did you get so good so quickly that you coming to represent was a no brainer?
So, with my operations background, I think it really just stems from my work ethic and being able to adapt with situations very quickly and just being eager to learn.
I would definitely agree with that. We talked about the speed dating, basically 15-minute increments we get with different companies. What was one thing that surprised you, and what was one thing that I guess was what you thought it would be?
One thing I'd say that surprised me was the different systems that they are putting into place to be more effective. It's a lot of things I didn't know that they were thinking about on a day to day basis, but especially as a consumer myself, it is something that stands out.
And I guess last question, how was the travel?
Oh, wow. That was interesting. The most interesting part to begin with. Couple flight delays, couple bumps in the road, but we got here. That's all that matters.
Haley and I have spent the last 2 days in Salt Lake City at a enterprise level conference. We're meeting with large players in the industry, and ultimately the goal is figuring out how we can partner with some of these companies to help them accomplish their goals. Some of them we work with, some of them are new opportunities. It's a chance to continue developing those relationships. Let's start with some of the discussions that we listened to this morning. Haley, what do you think a couple of the themes were or the takeaways?
A couple of the themes were just asking the right questions and being able to reach the best person to answer those questions, and asking yourself questions too of, is your team ready to solve a certain problem? Is your budget ready? Do you have all the operations and just the team backup to be able to help someone in their situation?
Absolutely. This discussion was around the difference between a company being able to sell to an individual hospital versus a large group of hospitals, and the differences that you have to consider when you get to that scale. We heard the term AI a lot this morning.
Yeah.
Can you recap how some of these groups are thinking about it and what it means in our industry?
A common theme across the whole conference has been operation efficiency. And they're implementing these new tools and technologies, specifically AI, in order to do so, which has been really cool to see how they're implementing them into their systems, anything revolving inventory, scheduling, just to not only make it easier for them at the enterprise level, but also for their clients.
Absolutely. What I'm taking away from some of the discussions that we sat in on was rethinking how we present what we do and how we can better present it to be more in line with what these groups that own sometimes hundreds of hospitals, what they're focused on. Like you mentioned, operational efficiencies. What are some of the services that we offer that I can better frame as chances to improve operations or save time at that hospital and really leverage that in the conversations? What else am I missing?
Well, as a business, it's just important with all these technologies and tools that they are implementing that it's important to stay adaptable and open to new ideas just so you can stay in the forefront.
That's a really good point, and we heard from a lot of people today that they were specifically here because they wanted to see what else was out there.
Mm.
They wanted to see what technologies maybe they could implement, what was working, what wasn't. From your perspective, How long have you been with our company?
About 7 months.
What are a couple things that you're taking away that you've learned here that you think can make you more efficient when we get back into our normal day-to-day routine?
Like I've said, it's really important to be adaptable and just be open to new ideas and processes. Also, just embracing networking events like this and really taking in all the information that you are learning, connecting with other professionals, and just remembering each interaction is a chance to grow. And you can always learn something.
The whole experience, is it cool being able to travel?
This is a very invaluable experience. It's very great to be able to have the opportunity to meet and connect with these people because it's not very easy doing everything over email or relying on that.
Would you tell me otherwise anyway?
I just smile and wave.
Smile and wave. You do bring up a good point. There are groups that we talk to, especially in the later afternoon, who we already work with. We have good relationships with, we have ongoing communication with, and we meet with via Zoom. I do still think there's a human element to it though, and there's something about being able to meet in person that just isn't quite replicated on Zoom. Do you feel the same way, or am I just old?
Oh, no, I definitely feel the same way. I'm definitely better with faces too, and also just feeding off the energy, and like you said, it's hard to replace the face-to-face and human connection.
After the 2 days here, is there anything else that I'm missing?
No, I think we went over everything.
I'm going to throw out one more topic. It was a focus, but it actually came up a lot less than I thought, and that was managing cost of goods sold. We're working with large groups. They own sometimes hundreds of hospitals. Pricing is always important, and it was a focus, but I actually feel like it came up a lot less than
Mhm.
what I would have thought.
Yeah,
What do
it
you think?
definitely more revolved around the operational efficiency and just all the new tools and technologies that are being implemented in the day-to-day practice. I'd say the cost of goods and, prices management definitely came more from those intimate conversations, so it was also good to have that time.
I know I said that was the last topic, but I thought of one more. I think we do a good job of really highlighting what makes us different, both from a company standpoint, so our unique value proposition, but also how our service is a little bit different than some of the competitors in the marketplace. And I feel like that really resonated with a lot of the groups that we talked to, especially the ones we don't already have a relationship with. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. I think it's always important when you're bringing up why you stand out to not always bash, the competition, but just to figure out what the business needs are and see how we can complement that.
Absolutely.
I definitely know the importance of connections, building relationships, being able to be that point of contact for a lot of these groups and being able to manage those relationships.
It's a good point. One of the things that we had discussed when you get to this scale, these enterprise customers, they want a single point of contact. And you've definitely become that for so many of our customers. And making sure that we have that team in place, we have that point of contact in place, and the white glove service to match what it is that our company does is important. And you've stepped into that role and crushed it over the last 7 months. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. It all comes from the support of Brandon and the team. So I couldn't do it without their help.
I think we can wrap it up here. This is our day 2 recap and our behind the scenes, I guess, our enterprise level conference. Thanks, Haley, for joining.
Thanks for listening.